I've always said that the opening 3 weeks of the season, no matter the sport, is the only time we have the advantage of the odds makers, and that advantage is always the greatest in college basketball because of the sheer number of games. The odds makers don't know anything more about these teams than you or I, but because of the number of games, you will always find a pocket of matchups where the odds just simply aren't even close to being right. You have so many bad lines. Well, this week I've certainly proven my point once more. After ending the NFL weekend with winners, top-rated 15-dime best bets on the Lions on Sunday and then the Eagles outright on Monday, a perfect 4-0 sweep with top-rated 15-dime best bets, all double-digit blowout winners this week with Gonzaga on Tuesday, Indiana on Wednesday, Wichita State on Thursday, and then USC last night, which means going into today's action, I'm now seeking winning day number 10 out of 12. And my best bet today is just one of my favorite angles when it comes to college football handicapping. I'm calling it my revenge game of the year. It's top-rated 15-dime football winner number 42 out of 65 overall and 9 out of 12 in college football. And once again, it's going to be the half-price play of the day simply by using coupon code HALF. And of course, also dating back to last season, it's going to be Saturday college football best bet winner number 20 out of 29. 20 out of 29 on Saturdays. But as a reminder, if you've never taken advantage of it before, what are you waiting for? You can always get that best bet and all the plays of all the handicappers for free if you've never taken advantage of the 2-day free all access pass over at DeMarcosports.com. Certainly now is the time to do so because you get all the plays of all the handicappers for free with no strings attached simply by using the 2-day free all access pass. Again, you have nothing to lose because free truly does mean free. If you ever have any questions, you can always contact customer service. Now, before I get to your free picks today, I want to talk about reality shows, and you'll understand why in a moment. First of all, I can tell you that reality isn't real. I mean, not the Kardashians, not the Real Housewives of whatever 117 different cities they're in. It's scripted drama designed as entertainment. Well, we have a reality show that was produced over the past year and a half or so, and it's called the Cappers TV show. And if you go over to DeMarco Sports right now, if you don't happen to be watching my video on the site, but if you go over to DeMarcosports.com, you will see the first couple of episodes of the show, the Cappers TV show. Now, this particular show, it's formatted in very short segments, 2-minute, 5-minute, 6-minute episodes. And there's going to be 50 or 60 episodes here that are going to be loaded on the site every Saturday for God knows how long until it gets to get the whole show out there. And I'm going to be here to tell you what is real and what it isn't. And it's going to pit Brandon Lang against Shawn Michaels, two guys for whom there is absolutely no love lost. And believe me, let me just repeat that again. There is absolutely no love lost between Brandon Lang and Shawn Michaels. So what is real? Well, I can tell you, Brandon isn't acting. He's a cocky son of a, can I say that? He's a cocky SOB. He's so full of himself. He's got an ego that barely fits through the door. There's not enough air in a room when Brandon's in a room, okay? You're going to see in the first couple of episodes, which is built around Brandon accusing guys, handicappers, other handicappers of stealing his picks. Has he accused guys of stealing his picks? Oh my God, absolutely. He's even accused me of stealing his picks. Like, why the hell would I ever want Brandon Lang's picks? Who is he accused? The short answer, again, is just about everybody. He really thinks he's the only guy who can find winners. I'm being totally serious here, guys. He's accused everyone, okay? Why would I ever want his effing plays, okay? The irony is that 90% of the time, Brandon is the last guy to post his plays live on the site. 90% of the time, customer service is bugging him to get his plays live because I have rules at the site that on weekdays, you're going to have your plays live by 2 o'clock Eastern time and on weekends by 9 a.m. Eastern time. And he is habitually a late offender because he's checking out everybody else's plays. That's the irony, okay? And when he goes in prolonged losing streaks, the guys at the site would be better off fading him than ever wanting to steal his plays, okay? That's the only value there. Now, as for Sean, does he love getting a rise out of Brandon? Oh, you better believe it. I mean, he loves to jerk Brandon's chain. There is nobody better in this company at pushing Brandon's buttons than Shawn Michaels, and you're going to see this in the reality show. I mean, he knows exactly what to do. He knows exactly where to put the knife. I love it. It's one of the reasons that Sean and I are such good friends, because you know the disdain I have for Brandon Lang. Now, I'm not in this show. I was asked to be in this show. I was asked to be in this show to be the voice of reason, to explain things like I am right now. I absolutely refused for a couple of reasons. Number one, I can't stand Brandon. I wanted to have nothing to do with him. I've told you a couple of weeks ago, I have not spoken to the guy in 5 or 6 years. I don't like the guy. I had nothing to do with him. I didn't want to prostitute myself in this show and have anything to do with Brandon. End of story. Was the producer of the show happy because he thought he could convince me to do it? No, he wasn't. But F him. I don't care. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. But I'm going to give you the behind the scenes and tell you what is real and what isn't. Now, if you're wondering why the show is so dramatic, why it's so over the top, that's how these shows get pitched to get sold to networks. So again, every week, I'm going to give you the behind the scenes. It's entertainment. I mean, do you think Kim and Kylie and Chris sit there every week and, oh, Kim, what did you do? Did you go out to lunch? Did you have cottage cheese? Did you get another liposuction? This is not what they do in the Kardashians. Nobody would effing watch. So again, reality, what is real? It's augmented reality. In Kim's case, it's definitely augmented, but in many other ways. In Brandon's case, well, maybe it's augmented too, but that's another story for another day. We won't talk about any roids, but we'll get to that some other story. Anyway, let's get to your complimentary plays here today. It's not a great card. Listen, it's a great card for the game that I like, but it's not a great card in terms of overall depth, if you're asking me, which of course is why you're watching the video. So let's get to the first pick. I lost with Indiana last week. But I don't think there's anything wrong with coming back with Indiana this week, because Indiana is hanging on by a thread to that number 2 spot behind Ohio State in the college football playoff rankings, right? And next week they close on the road against Purdue. Home finale today against Wisconsin. Big deal. Wisconsin won outright as a 10.5-point home dog against Washington last week, a Washington team that just doesn't play well on the road anyway. So I like Indiana here, laying the 29 points against Wisconsin. I mean, look at what the Badgers did. They upset Wisconsin last week, okay? And they were outgained in that game, 251 to 205 in total yards, okay? They forced 2 turnovers. That's what got them the win. They're going to be starting probably a true freshman at Carter Smith today at quarterback. The quarterbacks last week only combined for 40 total yards through the air. And if it's not Carter Smith, it's going to be Hunter Simmons, who came up from Southern Illinois and started a few games for them this year already. That's how bad the quarterback room is for Wisconsin. And I just think in the home finale for the Hoosiers, who were not able to run the ball last week, only 108 yards rushing against Penn State. Now, granted, Wisconsin has a tough run defense. I think that Kirk Sagetti, who is 11-3 against the spread, is a home chalk with the Hoosiers. They will get the job done here, and I have no qualms with laying the 29 points with Indiana. Another game, James Madison, minus 21 against App State. You know, the Dukes have won 7 straight games. This is their first home game since October 18th. They're 4-0 in Harrisonburg, Virginia, so far this year, and they've been putting a lot of points on the board here lately. They do lead the Sun Belt in scoring, averaging 34.8 points a game. That's 23rd best in FBS. They only give up 16.9. That's 12th best in the nation. Last 3 games, the offense has produced 63, 52, 35 points. Their quarterback, Lanza Barnett, the third, 9 touchdowns passing, 5 touchdowns rushing in that stretch. I just like them in this particular spot. They're in double revenge, too. Their only loss this season came to Louisville. And their defense is holding foes to 129 yards below their respective foes' season average. So I like them today. This App State team, no defense whatsoever, especially through the air. 1-4 against the spread. Their last 5 is a road dog. And James Madison, it's not too much to ask them to lay 3 touchdowns in this particular spot. Now, this is an interesting game. You've got Iowa that lost in a heartbreaking fashion again last week at home to Oregon. Rain is expected today. And by the way, they say it never rains in Southern California. Well, they're wrong. Rain is expected. It's going to be probably an ugly field at the Coliseum today when USC hosts Iowa. 6.5-point number for the Trojans here today. An Iowa team that's great defensively, but can only run the ball, has no passing attack against a USC team that is undefeated at home. The line is certainly respectful of Iowa's defense because it's a 6.5-point number. And, I'll tell you what, even though Iowa has won 10 consecutive regular season games off a straight up loss, I like USC minus the 6.5 in this particular spot because I just don't have any confidence in that Iowa offense. And then your final game, Texas A&M. Minus 19.5 over South Carolina. Now, South Carolina is coming off a bye. The offense has underperformed all season long, but they did fire their offensive coordinator, Mike Shula. Is that enough to turn around the Gamecocks offense at this late stage of the game? Texas A&M has no look ahead. They're only going to play Samford next. I mean, you got an offense that's high-powered, averaging 38 points and 460 yards a game. They lost last year 44-20 as a 3-point road favorite in Columbia, so a little bit of a revenge situation. Of course, they go right behind Ohio State, Indiana in the college football playoff rankings, so they can ill afford to have a setback. And it's interesting that Indiana is ranked slightly ahead of Texas A&M because the committee feels that Indiana is a slightly better defense, okay? Their last 3 road games, South Carolina's only averaged 11.7 points, so I like Texas A&M in this spot. Now, ranking these plays, can't say I'm in love with any of them. I would go with James Madison number 1. I would take Indiana number 2. Oh boy, and then I would go with USC number 3 and Texas A&M number 4. So James Madison would be number 1. Yeah, laying the 3 touchdowns. Indiana would be number 2, USC number 3, and Texas A&M number 4. And that'll do it, guys. Wish you well and talk to you again soon.